Hey guys, it's Nicola Milan from Sing a Secret, and in this video I'm going to show you how to sing Hello by Adele. So we're going to do a technique breakdown, which means I'm going to walk you through some of the vocal techniques that Adele uses when she sings this song so that you can get kind of the same effect with your singing, but obviously with your own unique spin on things. So in order to be able to sing this song effectively, you need 4 things. Number 1, you need glottal stops. And if you haven't heard of glottal stops before, don't worry, I'll explain them later in the video. Number 2, you need excellent breath support on your low notes. Number 3, you need a belt voice, so you need to be able to belt. And number 4 is you need to be able to switch quickly from your belt voice into your head voice and back again. I'll explain how to do all of these things as we go through the song. Let's get started. Hello, it's me. All right, so the start of Adele's song has got a lot of breath support behind it. So that's your first step when you're approaching this song, is you want to make sure you've done some breathing exercises to get your diaphragm working so you can draw in enough air and be exhaling enough air as you sing to support these rich low notes. So when she's singing these notes, you want to notice that she's not cutting the notes off like this. She's not going, hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. So she's not keeping it short, she's extending her notes, and this is where the breath support comes in. So if you have a listen, compare that to this. Hello, it's me. I'm holding it for a longer period of time and it's supported. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. That's all in one breath. That whole passage, I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. One phrase. So you've got to keep that breath support going for that entire phrase. And you want to focus on making sure your resonance is nice and rich. Now, the other technique that she uses, especially in the verses, is she adds a little bit of a croak to her singing. She adds this, that little croak. And what it does is it adds a little bit of melancholy to the sound of your voice. Kind of like this. Hello, it's me. That little croak there. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. Now, I can't remember the exact spots that she puts it in, but she does add this croak to quite a few of her sentences during this first section. So those are 2 techniques that you want to concentrate on. Number 1, breath support throughout this whole entire section to get really rich low notes. And number 2, adding that little croak to the start of some of your sentences. Now in the pre-chorus, she uses a really cool phrasing technique. So she links different parts of the sentence together. So what she does is she goes, there's a difference, and she takes a breath. And then this next sentence to the end of the pre-chorus is all one phrase. So I'll sing the whole thing. There's a difference between us and a million miles. So what she doesn't do is this. There's a difference between us, breath, and a million miles. So she keeps that sentence all together. And this is a phrasing technique that's really powerful, and it can change the whole way that your song sounds. So make sure when you're doing the pre-chorus, if you want to sound pretty similar to Adele, or even if you want to put your own spin on things, it's still a good technique to learn. Make sure that you're keeping the right sentences together and you're breathing in the right spots. Now in Adele's chorus, that is where belting and glottal stops come into play. So glottal stops, if you've never heard of them, are when you close off the back of your throat and you force the air through, and they add a little bit of attack to the start of your notes, and it sounds like this. That's a glottal stop. So if you need to, pause the video and practice getting your glottal stops going. I'm just saying and I'm closing off the back of my throat. Now, glottal stops are a fantastic technique to learn, especially if you have a softer voice, or if you're like me and you don't have any edge to your voice. So I'm not a great belter. My low notes are my best sounding notes, but using glottal stops helps give your belting that little bit more oomph because they do add this sense of attack to the start of the notes. And Adele litters her chorus with glottal stops. I've just put my keyboard around so I can demonstrate this for you. Hello from the outside, I must have called 1,000 times. I tried to overemphasize it then, but it's this must have called 1,000 times. So she's closing off the back of her throat on those notes, and it kind of gives it a little bit more kick. Now, if I was to do that without the glottal stop, it would sound like this. Hello from the outside, I must have called 1,000 times. Have a listen to it again with the glottal stop. Hello from the outside, I must have called 1,000 times. So it does add that kick, to the choruses, and she adds this throughout the entire chorus. So if you want to add a little bit more punch to this song, do some glottal stops and practice adding them to the start and middle of your notes. And lastly, Adele really belts this chorus out. So that is another technique that you need to have in order to be able to sing this song. Two things I will say about this. Number one is that belting should never hurt. It should be easy, and you don't actually need to put a lot of push behind a belt at all. It should actually be more about adjusting where you're resonating your sound. So focusing on raising your soft palate and resonating the sound to bounce off this soft palate so that it comes out nice and clear rather than constantly trying to push and strain in your throat. That's not what healthy belting is about. If you need help with belting, I do have some how to belt videos which will walk you through the process, and I'll put a link to them in the description below. And the other thing I'll say about this is that if you're not a belter, you don't need to belt this section. I've done a version of this, if you want to check it out, where I've sung the chorus a lot softer, basically because I'm not a natural belter, and my belt notes are not my best sounding notes. So if I go at full power with those notes and try and hold them for a long period of time, like Adele does, it's not going to sound great. I mean, this song has not been written for my voice. Adele wrote it for her voice because that's her bag. You know, that's where the beauty of her voice lies. But for me, I found that I decided to do a softer version, and it sounded pretty nice. You can check it out if you want a comparison. But the point that I'm trying to say here is that if you don't have a great belt voice, sing these high notes softer and just do a really pretty soft version of it, and that will work just as well. Now, the other technique that Adele uses is she switches quickly from her belt voice to her head voice, kind of like this. Hello from the outside, I must have called 1,000 times to tell. So she's going to tell. So she's switching there quickly from chest to head. To call 1,000 times to tell. And she's basically throwing it up. To tell. So you can practice switching from your belt voice to your head voice just in an exercise first by doing octave jumps. So if you were just to start on, say, G below middle C, and you were to go G, la, 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 and then see if you can switch from belt to head. La, 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 moving up, la, 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 la. See, now I'm at the top of my belt range, so I'm going to belt and go into my head. La, 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 la. See the difference in sound? La, 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 la. La, 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 you've gone through that a few times and you feel you've kind of got this transition going, then you can start speeding things up, kind of like this. Let's choose F. La, ha, ha, ha. So my top note was a little bit flat there, so I'm going to try it again. Breath support. La, ha, ha, ha. That was pretty accurate. La, ha, ha, ha. La, ha, ha, ha. La, ha, ha, ha. So it's this quick switching from belt to head, and it's all about vocal flexibility. And in order to be able to get this technique, you really do need good breath support. So you need good breath support pretty much for the entire song. Then you can put this technique into the context of the song. Hello from the outside, I must have called 1,000 times to tell you, to tell you, to tell you, tell you, tell you. So you can just go over that one note and make sure you've got that transition, you've nailed that jump from your belt voice into your head voice before you carry on. Don't just keep singing the chorus and missing these bits out. Just stop the music. The chord progression for this song is so easy. I'll put the chords below if you want to chug them out on your piano so you can go through this slowly. So you've got I gave you about 5 different techniques to work on for this song. So you've got your breath support throughout the entire song, but especially on your lower notes. You've got your phrasing. So you're going to think about where to take your breaths, and you're going to make sure that you take your breaths where Adele takes her breaths. You know, just do it as a practice, because it's a great idea to copy other singers exactly, just to kind of get an idea of how they phrase. Then you've got your croaks on the lower notes, so your ah. Then you've got your belt voice that you need for the chorus, and if you need a crash course on belting, head to my videos in the links below. You've got the glottal stops in the chorus to give the attack for all those belt notes, and you've got the switching from your belt voice to your head voice to work on as well. And you can use this exercise, just rewind the video and go through it again as many times as you need to nail that before you go into doing the switching within the song. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I don't usually do how to sing like an artist kind of tutorials, because I kind of really feel that everybody needs to be able to sing in their own unique way. However, Adele does employ a lot of really cool techniques when she sings this song, and I really dug the song, which is why I decided to do a video about it for you guys. So if you enjoyed this, please let me know, and I will do some more artist breakdowns. Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like some more free stuff and some free singing training, head on over to my website, singersecret.com, and you can grab the freebies there. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nicola Milan, and I'll talk to you again next time.